the most important thing in life is purpose. Okay? And that's number one. That's the first thing God gives a person. And that's the first thing you should give a person. You don't give a person, the most important thing in life is not rules and regulations. The most important thing in life is not laws. It's not do's and don'ts. That's where raising children, hits the rock. Many times parents, they raise their children, and what they are eager to pass to them is do's and don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And it never works. It never works. The things you tell children not to do, they will do. The thing about church sometimes is also about do's and don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. It never works. Why? Because it is when purpose is in place that you can now begin, to think about how to not mess purpose up. In fact, do's and don'ts is about how not to mess purpose up. Very important. That's a place I'm going, and I need to be careful how I live my life so I don't miss my vehicle, I don't miss my road, I don't miss my assignment. So that's the first thing. The first thing in life is purpose. If you have not got purpose, if it's not clear, your life is going to be unsteady, unstable. Now, after purpose is in place, that's a different conversation. The next thing that's critical in life is relationship. The next thing that's critical in life is relationship. One of the ways to abuse relationship is to make relationship number one in life. Once you make it number one, you've abused it. And once you abuse it, it is difficult for relationship to play its role because it is out of place. Okay? So the first thing in life is purpose. The next thing is relationship. Relationship, so the way we say it is that purpose is the destination and relationship is the vehicle to get to the destination. Purpose is where I'm going. Relationship is the enabler to get there. And that's very helpful in knowing how to appropriate relationship. I need to know where I'm going with my life, and then I know who to connect with to help me to get there. You never pick relationship based on how nice somebody is. That is the most unfortunate thing about relationship. People pick nice people. People pick those that their spirit accepts, those their spirit agrees with. No, that's not how you pick relationship. You pick relationship based on who is going my direction. Who is going my direction? No matter how nice somebody might be, if they are not going your direction, they are useless to you. They are unnecessary to you. They might be useful for somebody else. They might be good for somebody else, but they are not good for you, even though they are nice. And why is it that people are so focused on picking nice people? Why are you picking nice people? And then we are trying to pick the one nice person in the world, right? So we want to search through friends and relationship to find the one nice person and pick that one nice person. Whereas effective relationship is not about niceness because everybody is nice. Everybody is nice. But at the same time, everybody also is not nice. There is the good and the bad in the same person. So that's why you get angry, and then something again, you get happy, you get sad, you get everybody. So if you get someone who fits in the right spot, the person is able to be useful for where your life is going, and that's what you should seek. It's like going to the park and going to find a vehicle. Exactly, that's how relationship is like. But you can't go to the park and find any vehicle unless you first of all define where your life is going. This is where my life is going. I'm going to Aba, I'm going to Port Harcourt, I'm going to Uyo, I'm going to... When you say where you're going, then you can now go to the park. And when you get to the park, you're not looking for the nice vehicle. You're not looking for the vehicle with the most handsome driver. No. You're looking for the vehicle going my direction. And the other critical thing about this is that long before you know the vehicle you're going to use, you know where you're going. So if you're going to travel on Friday this week, you already know by today, right? I'm going to travel by Friday. There's no question about which vehicle to choose. There is a clarity that I'm going to APSU, I'm going to IMSU, or going to whatever, already many, many days ahead. And that's where relationship begins to fail. We need to know where we're going, and then we pick who is going there. So the question is not how nice you are. The question is, are you going there? And sometimes God can require you to have to do with someone who does not look nice at all. You know, when I have a challenge personally when people spend too much time picking who to marry in terms of who is the best person, it worries me personally. Let me tell you why it worries me. You see, we have this sense of judgment in our mind where we look at somebody as marriable and another person as not marriable. So we look at someone and when we look at them, we dismiss them, right? We say, this person, no, I cannot marry this person. And you make yourself the arbiter of who can be married and who cannot be married. So some guy comes and says he wants to marry you. You size them up if they can be a husband, if they are a husband material. So you check them and they don't quite fit, and then you dismiss them because you know who should be married and who should not be married. And sometimes so guys do that. They look at the girl, they weigh the girl, size the girl up, and she doesn't look quite good, and then you dismiss the person. So the question in my mind is, are you dismissing this person that the person will not be married again, one, or that the person will not be married a person than you? That if they finally get married, it will be somebody less worthy because you are very worthy now. You know this person, I am good and I'm marrying the best in the park. So whoever marries this person that I'm rejecting will be less a person than me. That's complete nonsense. You don't pick people based on how nice they are, or how good they are, or how much of a husband material they might be, or wife material they might be. All kinds of nonsense. You pick who to marry based on who fits my life. Who fits my life. And if you are picking based on who fits my life, I guarantee you something. Sometimes you may see someone that's very nice and know they don't fit my life. And let someone nice go. In fact, you might refer someone nice to somebody else and say, based on how nice this person is, I can't marry them because they don't fit into my life. So very important. It's not about that's why in the scriptures you will read about a prophet that God told to go and marry a harlot, right? I'm sure that would have been a challenging directive that God gave to Hosea to go and marry a harlot. I'm sure he would have been frustrated with that ordinarily. I'm sure that his friends would have looked at him as stupid, as someone that is mad and crazy. This person is not well trained. He's not well brought up. He doesn't come from a good family. He doesn't come from a good background. This one, that one, all kinds of things. But for what God wants Hosea to do, this is the best fit. And Hosea was careful to know, what does God require of me? Who fits into my life? And pick that person. And let everybody be talking, he's not tall enough, she's not tall enough, she's fat, she's this, she's that. But she fits into my life. So we need that wisdom. We choose who to marry through the eyes of other people. We choose who people we like. We choose the person that when I present the person to my friends, they will think I'm smart. I don't want to present somebody that when I present the person to my friend, they will say, oh, I thought you are smart. I thought you know good things. So are you marrying for yourself or marrying for your friends? All kinds of stupid things. Some people marry somebody that when they stand together to take pictures, it will be nice. I'm telling you, I want somebody that is this high. So when I'm here, they are here. I want somebody that is this shape. All kinds of things. Sometimes people marry for how they will give birth to children. So when two of us combine, the children will come out like this. All kinds of stupid things. We don't know where we're going. makes relationship very terrible. So you need to know where you're going, and then you pick relationship based on where your life is going. We've been dealing with this series of Formula for a Great Marriage, and the reason why we're doing that is because marriage is the most important relationship you will have. Marriage is by far the most important relationship you will have. For one, it is the only relationship that clearly represents the relationship of God and man. Right? Very important. That's why when I join people, I tell them that your marriage to your husband or your marriage to your wife is more important than your relationship with your parents. Even though it's challenging, and parents don't want to hear that. And sometimes people don't want to hear that, but by what marriage represents, that has to be right. Because your relationship with your parents does not represent your relationship with God. The one that represents it is the relationship with your spouse. Okay? And again, your relationship with your parents is not your choice. You didn't choose it. Right? There's none of us that chose our parents. But you are choosing your spouse. And that makes that relationship a very fundamental and very critical relationship. And it is one that God uses to extend humanity by right. The expectation of God is that any human being that will come into this world within the confines of a legitimate relationship, marriage. And so marriage is critical for our world and for fulfilling God's purpose for our lives. So we have said a number of things about it, and we're going to just repeat a few things today because I want to make sure that you get it. I don't just want to cover the syllabus. I want to be sure that you understand what the basics are. One of the most fundamental things we have said about marriage is that it is God's idea. It is God's idea. It is not man's idea. Okay? The reason that is important is that if you know that marriage is God's idea, then it becomes important for you to seek how God intends for marriage to be done. But we live in a world now where we seek to know how celebrities marry, or who social media influencers marry. They become the standard. They become the conventions with which to check our marriage. And that's why we'll fall and we'll be frustrated. People are not important how marriage is done in America or how it's done in the UK. No, it's about how God, who has created marriage, intends for marriage to be done. He is the originator. You always ask the manufacturer how he intends for his product to be used. Okay? So that's the first thing we have to bear in mind, that marriage is God's idea, and God has to, tell how marriage is supposed to be done. Marriage, we have emphasized that it is a drama. Let me tell you this. The people that are involved in a marriage, forever, they will remain strangers to each other. The person you are married is another person. No matter how much you want to now make it look like, oh, we are connected now, we are now one. You are one with a definition. That oneness, that's why on the judgment day, they won't do it family by family. Right? I say now Jesus comes on the judgment day and say, well, if I and family come for your judgment. No. Judgment is personal. So even though you are married to somebody, it is just for a purpose. It is for a period for expressing an essence in life. And when that time is gone, when we meet in heaven, we'll be, say, okay, I used to know you. We met in Ava somewhere. Okay, you okay? Yeah, we shake hands and then we go. But it's not that this person, when we put too much into marriage and we belabor the thing. I want to pick the person that is my own. Nobody is your own. We all belong to God. And that's why when we marry somebody, we put too much pressure on them to be this and this and this and this for me. And we can't let them be themselves. Any small thing they say impacts on us. If they speak wrong English in public, we start shivering where we are in our seat. If anything they do, it's just us. Who are you? That's a different human being. And you came into their life to be. So leave them alone. Let them be themselves. Don't put too much pressure. See, because I'm your husband, you should be this for me. And because I'm your wife, you should be that. I want to run the other person's life. Let the Holy Spirit run people's life. Just be comfortable to be in their life. The person is a stranger. And you cannot know them completely. You cannot. You can never know anybody completely, no matter how much you marry them. In fact, you yourself don't know yourself completely. So how can you not know somebody else completely? You can't. So be comfortable to just put up with this person and let's have the play. Marriage is effective and happens at the intersection of lives. I'll say it again and I'll explain. Marriage happens at the intersection of lives. What does that mean? That means, so how many of you did some elementary maths, right? What do you call that in set? You know set. So you have this one circle here, right? And you have another circle. So just imagine these are two persons. There's one big circle, that's person one, and there's another big circle, that's person two. Now, watch this. The two circles that represent two persons can never overlap completely. Never. There is never a possibility that you and your spouse will just merge and just become one. It's a lie. But two of you will overlap. So a part of you will come this way, a part of you will come this way, and then there is this, what do you call that thing? Intersection that happens. That is where you should focus and build a relationship. But some people just want, because they define themselves by the person they are married to. No, you are defined by God, not by your spouse. Don't put too much pressure on them. You see, when Adam was sleeping, when God was going to give a wife to Adam, this is very interesting. When God was going to give a wife to Adam, one of the very significant things that happened is that Adam, first of all, God did not ask Adam the kind of woman he wanted. Right? By the way we look for who to marry now, that's what God should be doing. In fact, because God is not doing it, we are not doing it. We are not telling God the description. We have to get a long list. I say, Father, please, I know you want to give me a spouse, but let me give you the specification, the description of the person that will come. Number 1 to number 200. The person has to be fair, the person has to be tall, the person has to be blue-eyed, the person has to be a graduate. We just give a long list. So God will not take your list. I'll be looking through all he created. I'll be checking who matches your list. Do you think God will do that kind of thing? To take your long list and be checking. Let me tell you something. In all possibility, in all probability, the person that you really want to marry does not exist. That person you have been dreaming of. Because if they let you pick who you are going to marry, you are going to create a perfect person. Isn't it? One who is just like this, and just like that, and just like that, and just like that, and fits here, and fits here. That person will be a monster. And if that perfect person was supposed to be existing, you won't match them because you are not perfect. So you don't need that. Well, you can exercise your sense of, they say you can have your say, but God will have his way. So you can go ahead and say, okay, I want this one, I want that. It's okay, tell God what you want. But at the end of the day, whoever he passes you collect. There's nobody. Oh God. There's nobody who has succeeded in marrying somebody, they don't have something about them that they would have preferred to have switched. No, but whoever you married, it's just that we want to be mature, and then we don't know how to manage this. We want to be, not talk too much. Look at your husband. Look at him. I wish God would have just added more height. I wish that this guy would have a little more brain. What kind of husband? Or you see the wife you're married, you look at the wife. And we are constantly, fighting off competition, right? Constantly. Let me tell you, if you're married, you know that if you're not married, you'll find out. The fighting off of competition is consistent. It is, if a lady comes up here and makes a presentation, and it's powerful, you use the blood of Jesus Christ to hold yourself from comparing your wife to the person. If a young man comes and then does something, if you even see body, you wish you can move your husband into this body. Let me tell you, it will never stop. So, God makes sure that when you get anybody you get, they will have issues. Plenty issues. In fact, some will have issues that will blow your mind. But you see, the problem with that is when you think that somebody is coming into your life to bless you. You have hypertension. But if you know I'm coming into your life to bless the person's life, to help them, it doesn't matter their issues. Whatever their issues, I'm here to help you. There's no pressure for you to be anything for me, but I'm here to be everything for you. So when God was going to give a wife to Adam, he didn't ask him who he wanted. And that's so beautiful. What God did was just put Adam to sleep. Adam didn't have a say. Can you imagine if Adam was awake?